This is Clara Angelina Diaz, your host of Clarafying TV, Life and Business Wisdom for Spiritual Entrepreneurs. And today I have the utmost pleasure of speaking with Mernaisa Rivera Bujoso. She is an attorney, a business attorney in the Boston area, and she's going to be speaking to us about the importance of having legal representation and the importance of incorporating your business. So stay tuned, it's going to be an amazing interview. Marnaisa, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Clara, for having me on your show. It's an honor and a pleasure to speak with your viewers today.
I'm so excited to have you because, for my entrepreneurs, it's
Yes.
so important. There's so many things, that we have to worry about in business. But one of the things that, some of us only go to when needed is legal representation. And I'm all about prevention. And
Yes.
so I want to first start by asking you, how did you start? How did you decide to become an attorney? Or why are you an attorney? And then talk to us about, some of those important things that we as entrepreneurs starting out need to really be mindful of. Things like incorporating and having legal service agreements and all that good stuff. So you can start us off with just telling us, why you decided to become an attorney.
Oh, thank you. Well, I decided to become an attorney because I love helping my clients. I love helping my community. Being an attorney is a fiduciary role. Not only do we resolve problems, but we avoid problems. And it's always better when we can avoid those problems and avoid any type of litigation. So for me, to be able to give back to my community and help put my clients in a better place than when they were when they met me, whether it is to realize their dreams of buying a home or resolving a problem that because somebody harmed them, there's nothing more valuable than that. So that's why I became an attorney. I've been an attorney now for 8 years in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. So thank you for having me.
Well, I'm
And
so happy that you're here, and I feel such a connection with you because it sounds like you do. What I love to do is help people realize their dreams. Yeah.
as do I, and there isn't anything better than that. For example, there's so many reasons to go see an attorney before a problem happens. Number one is to avoid the problem from happening. And how do we do that? We do that with planning, timely negotiation, timely statements of terms that are reduced to a writing and agreeable to form so everyone can rely on those agreements and moving forward. Like with business owners, when you're opening up a new business, one of the first things you have to do is incorporate. Why? Because your business, yes, it's yours, it's your baby, but you also want to keep it separate from your personal assets. For example, if you own a home, you don't want a mistake that may happen in your business affect your home or anything that you own personally. If you're a corporation or an LLC or an LLP is a person, a jurisdiction person that can pay taxes, that has a federal identification number, that is its own person under the law. So to have your business be that separate person of which you're an owner of provides so many benefits, and that should be the first thing to do. As a lot of business owners start as sole proprietors, and you can, but that's a risk, and that's a risk that you want to consider at the beginning, so you can start by forming your own business by incorporating. So that's like an example of why seeing an attorney from the start is so great. It also allows you to collaborate with others under one entity form in a mutually beneficial way. That's one example. Another great example that many business owners don't think about are leases. Your business location is crucial. You want to know that you have your business location over a long period of time, not a month to month, years. And when you're starting, you want to know how long you're going to have your office for how much. What obligations do you have with regards to that property? What are the landlord obligations? And if you're a business owner that owns property, and you want to rent out or sublease, you need an agreement. That's another reason. Why? Because you have reliability on that tenant providing business in your business place. And you do that in writing. So you avoid any troubles. So you avoid any misunderstandings before anything problems happen. And a good agreement, a good lease agreement is the best. Another reason why people
Bernice,
get,
can I just want to
yeah,
interject before
yeah,
you give us your third reasons, because you're giving us so much amazing information that I want to make sure
you
that we capture it very well. So the first, the first reason that I hear is truly planning, like taking on that leadership position in your business, because when you're truly serious about your business, it's going to go beyond what your initial idea is, I imagine. And so for us to really think about, right after, I'm thinking, where in the process of business planning do we engage the attorney? Is it in the ideation stage? Is it when we already have the business plan done and we're ready to execute it? At what point, because I work with so many solopreneurs, you're one people, one person business, and they think that their enterprise is such a small thing that they don't really think about the possible risks.
that's right.
So I want to get through to my entrepreneurs, at what key moment, just to reiterate, do we incorporate or consider incorporating?
From the beginning. From the beginning stages, you want the attorney involved in the planning so you get educated at the risk of conducting business and the way that you're thinking of conducting business, of best ways to conduct that business, the best entity form for your business, for tax purposes, for personal liability purposes,
Yeah.
for planning. If there is more than, if in you're speaking about sole proprietors, if there's more than one person, having an incorporation is even more essential. But as a solo, you have to understand that you're putting everything out there as opposed to making a person that is your employer, of which you're an owner of. And to keep that separate reduces so much risk, protects everything you've worked so hard for that you own under your name. And also, you want to be have the attorney involved in the beginning, because when you're making the company or when you're thinking of incorporating, you have to make sure that your purpose is suitable for what you want to do, and that takes forethought. It takes thinking about the future. It consists of really finding out what is that I'm going to provide for my clients, what are my goals, what are my services, and find a way to have that company best suit what you're providing to your clients. And from the beginning, it's the most effective way to to realize that from the start, so everything goes smoothly without issues and moving forward.
So again, to reiterate, because I see this happening so much, and I was guilty of that too, running
Yeah.
my business for such a long time without incorporating. And so many people told me, Clara, you need to incorporate, and finally I did, and I'm thankful that I did, because it really just meant for me that I was taking my business that much seriously, that much
Exactly.
more seriously. And oh boy, I had a question. Oh, I want to kind of drill down on that point a little more. Have you seen examples of things that have happened to people that have been in business and didn't incorporate, and so they ended up, losing some of their personal assets? Have you any examples you can tell us about?
Well, without, as you know, with respecting the attorney-client privilege, I have come across a lot of examples where um, a person running their business, there's an issue happens, there was an accident that happened, and their coverage wasn't enough to cover the loss of that accident. And even though the accident happened during business hours, etc., since their business was not its own entity, it was just that person's home and assets were involved in that lawsuit and subject to an attachment. And had everything been incorporated and made it a separate person, there wouldn't have been any way that that person who was injured could have gotten a shot at your personal assets. That's why incorporating is so important. In addition to, you want insurance for your own company separate from yours. And that's just an example of what planning could avoid. That stress that that person went through and thinking this is my home, it's going to be subject to a lien, that was something unrelated to me personally. It was my business. Well, that's why we need to incorporate. So that's a good example as to why We need to, from the beginning, make our company different from our person. Make it our employer. Make it an entity that is separate from you. So, liability wise, if something should go wrong and you don't have enough coverage to accommodate the loss, only the business assets then would be in question, as opposed to your home and your assets that you worked so hard for. And this protection's available for, it's a fee that you have your attorney make the company, and it's maintained with a yearly fee thereafter. But it's the best personal liability protection you can have. It
And
also,
there's
mhm.
also another, this other myth that says, if I'm not making that much money, why do I need to incorporate?
Oh, well, well, if you're not making that much money, you still want that protection. Make that company separate from you. It's two people. It's your business and then you and what you have brought in. Yes, your efforts make the business, but the business is still its own person. And even though you may think, oh my God, I'm not making that much money right now, it's not that expensive to incorporate. It is worth it because when you do make lots of money, there's so many tax benefits also involved with a corporation, especially if you, or an LLC or an LLP, depending on who's forming the business, depending on what your business model is, depending what service or product you're providing. And just because now it may not seem applicable, you never know. The risk is still out there. And why not reduce that risk right from the beginning? And that's by incorporating.
Right. And so, what is the average cost for incorporating? I know it varies per state, but for Massachusetts, how much does that cost on average for a person that's looking for a service like that?
Thank you. So, with the cost to the state on its own, it's for a corporation, it's $295 to file. Annual reports are $100 a year. For a limited liability company or a limited liability partnership, it is $500 to form with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and then $500 to maintain every year. And so that for a yearly cost and the amount of protection you get in separating your personal assets and your person from your business, it's well worth it. It saves so much money and so much headache in the future. And if you do it from the beginning, then everything is the business. It's not anything that you did and then it became the business. No, from the beginning, this is my business, this is my company. And therefore, the company would be responsible and not you individually.
Right. Well, thank you so much for, reiterating that point to us so clearly because, it doesn't matter how much money you're making in your business. If you're truly serious about your business, you're going to set it up to succeed.
Exactly.
And so, this is one of the reasons why I love bringing experts like you on the show because,
Thank you.
you're able to, let us know how, not just the importance of it, but what the repercussions, right, of not incorporating would be. And so, thank God, I personally didn't get into any type of, negative situation while I wasn't incorporated, but I knew, how important that was. And also you talked about service agreements, making sure that you have service agreements that protect you from any type of suit or ensuring that you're going to actually receive payment for what was delivered. So
Exactly.
speak to us a little more about the importance of actual legal service agreements.
Yes, and the importance of why they should be in writing because many, many reasons, but just to give you a general many reasons is you specify the service, the terms of payment, the any costs that are associated outside of your fee, when is it going to start, when is it going to end, and the scope of the job. And if it's in writing, it's an enforceable right, and it's clear. It's much easier to get done if somebody does not follow through their end of the agreement. You can have verbal agreements provided they're not beyond a year, but it's a he said, she said. And and that leads to misunderstandings. If people have to have a meeting of the minds, and when you're providing a service, there's no better way of meeting of the minds than is the contract. So a service agreement that defines those major things, what the service is, the start, The end date, the terms of payment, and how much you're going to pay me are crucial. If you're selling products as well, what is it that you're selling? What is the term of payment? Et cetera, et cetera. Also, another good thing with services agreements is you specify, you make clear who's responsible for insurance. What is your responsibility? What are you delivering? So that way, if you have somebody who's not happy or just doesn't want to do their part of the bargain, you have your service agreement that is clear, that is simple, brief, and it's undeniable. Of course, you knew you were going to pay me for this service. You signed it right here. And I relied on that. And I provided you that service. So that's the way that you collect or you have people pay you. Agreements that are clear like that don't go into lawsuit. You know why? Because it's clear. They know that they're obligated. And you just work with them so that you can get paid whatever the situation may be over time, etc. But without an agreement, a good service, simple, short agreement, it's a danger. So that's a great reason why to have a legal service agreement, and that'd be in writing from the beginning. Before you start work, you have that clear. So definitely.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, definitely incorporating and having legal service agreements. No more of those verbal agreements. Yeah, I'll do it for you. No, no, no. We want very clearly stated service agreements. And I'm going to make sure and write down those few steps that you told us about when I send out this video to my audience.
Thank you.
And if anyone, you're welcome. If anyone wants to get in touch with you to talk about their specific legal needs of their business, where can they find you?
Thank you. So they can reach me at my office line, 617-398-6728 or 617-398-6727. They can also reach me at my fax, 617-398-6730. You
Okay.
can also reach me at my email, which is my first name, MERNAYSA, Rivera, Rivera, Bujosa, Bujosa, Law, LAW.com. And my website's just like my email domain, Rivera, Bujosa, Law.com. So thank you. And I'm in Charlestown in Boston, Massachusetts, and it'd be a pleasure to assist and serve your clients, definitely, whether it be with any of these business concerns as well as real estate, which is another good reason why you need to get an attorney or trust your attorney before you even submit the offer, because an attorney is key for the negotiation plan on buying your home or your dream business. I also do that timely, clearly, from the beginning. You know what you have to do, you know when you're going to buy, you know the steps you have to take. So that's another example also why an attorney service is so important. It's so well worth it because it will help you move forward smoothly, timely, and without any risk or with as little risk as possible.
I love that. So
Thank you.
moving forward smoothly with as little barriers as possible. And if you're very serious about starting your
Yes.
business, you definitely need to have a legal team on your side. You need to have legal representation.
Yeah.
Just to
Yes.
put yourself forward as a serious business owner and someone that's serious about what they're doing and what they're offering and is serious about what you're hoping to receive as well. Just being a good member of society to do things right. And
Yeah.
yeah, Mernisa, I want to thank you so much for coming on and
Oh,
giving us this valuable information because we can hear it from one person, but sometimes it takes someone to hear information 5 times before they can actually take action, and then to hear from an actual attorney, and not just
thank
an attorney, but you're an entrepreneur as well.
thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I want to ask you, if you could give our viewers 3 tips, 3 simple tips that they can put into action now to take their business forward. You as an entrepreneur, or 3 mistakes to avoid. What would those be?
Thank you. Not incorporating. Incorporate from the beginning. And the type of incorporation depends on your business, on what you want to provide. Also, so that's very important. Number two, always have insurance, whether it's work, and that depends on your business as well, whether it's general liability or workers' compensation. That insurance for your business, separate from you. But that is critical because that's a big safety net for any entrepreneur going forward and doing business. Another important thing to avoid, if you have, especially if you're in retail, restaurants, any type of service business, make sure your business location is subject to a lease that you are aware and can rely upon for a period of years. You spend so much time and effort making your business place you. You want to make sure that that is protected and it's going to be yours for that amount of time, regardless if the landlord sells, regardless if the area gets to be booming and everything goes up. No, you want certainty. You need those things to be certain, especially your business location. So that's another big, big tip that I tell business owners. Make sure you have a good relationship with your landlord. And the best relationship is in writing, with a good term of years contract that explains what your location is, explains what your obligations are. You can even create future interest with a present contract, like an option to purchase. So many good reasons. So those are things that make your business stronger. That comfort, that confidence, and that security to move forward. So that is definitely three main tips that I can give, and have an attorney help you, because we have a lot of training, we have a lot of experience, and so many times I see I'm fixing problems that had they had counsel from the beginning, it could have been avoided.
Yeah.
And you need good counsel. You need to also tell your attorney everything, because your attorney can only help you as best as you have that trust and conversation with them. So that's another big important point. If that's your number one confidant, your number one advocate, your attorney is your negotiator, your advocate, your protector and defender of rights. The person who only cares to does best is your counsel, and of course your family too. But
Yeah.
just so you know, legally, your family may not be trained in Mass laws or New Hampshire laws like me or other counsel, and that's why it's so important to engage the services of an attorney right from the beginning, especially when you're starting your baby, you're starting your business, your livelihood. There's nothing better to protect. And believe me when I tell you, it's not expensive when you're preventing, when you're contracting. It is reasonable. And not only is it reasonable, it will save you so much headache and turmoil and money. Litigation is expensive, but prevention isn't. And simple steps by asking questions and retaining counsel that you trust, that's the best, because that way you don't have to go and fix the problems. You avoid them from the beginning.
Yeah,
So that is
Marisa, that's it's such a positive. What you just said, so positive for me to hear as an entrepreneur. You know, you said the word certainty.
yes,
You know, having legal representation can provide certainty, and certainty is something that it's not
it's
very
hard.
existing in business. And
Yes.
so it's like a breath of fresh air when I hear you say certainty. I'm like, yeah, I need that.
Yes, and that's why contracts and legal
Yeah.
representation are so important,
Yes.
because because another big important point is we research. We find out everything that you need to know about the place you're going to locate, about what your business is going to be, so I can best recommend what our entity option to make. Um, we research the home, everything so clearly, so you know everything, so you can make an informed decision and negotiate. If you don't like something, you can negotiate it. Knowledge is power. So
Yes.
an attorney also provides you that knowledge to make things smooth and have that certainty over things you know may come up. And if they do come up, you know what the game plan is.
Yes.
Or you know how long you have your business for. You know if you have a business location for. You know if you have a renewal. You know that, what happens if I want to terminate or I want to move, or what happens if I want to keep extending. What happens if I want to buy out the building? Can I negotiate it right now? Those are things that you can think about and have signed, and that be enforceable in the future, that you can count on. And if it doesn't work, you have recourse, remedies, and harms. But mostly they do work because there's an agreed to agreement that's signed, clear, and smooth. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Mernisa, for all this valuable information. As you guys heard, knowledge is power. And so this is what we're all about, really giving you that knowledge for you to really have the power to take your life and your business to the next level. And so
That
make sure you get an attorney on your team. And Mernisa, could you give us your website one more time for our viewers?
Thank you.
For those who are in the Boston, Massachusetts, New Hampshire area, can benefit from your services. But those who are not, they could easily, I imagine, go on your website and gain some valuable information as well.
Yes, they can. And they can also reach out to me via email and phone. But my website is
Okay.
www.rivera, which is river with an A at the end, Rivera, Bujosa, Bujosa, law, LAW.com.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're definitely the email's the website's gonna be shown right here. And I want to thank you again so much for coming on Clarifying TV and speaking to my entrepreneurs. I'm so happy to have known you and have you as part of my network, and I can't wait to do more fun stuff together.
I can't wait either. And thank you so much for the honor to be on your show. You're an amazing entrepreneur, and it's a pleasure to be working with you. So thank you.
Thank you
It
so
is a
much,
pleasure.
Manisa.
So nice to see wonderful women, beautiful women rocking like you. So thank you.
I thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, feel free to share it with all your friends, like this video, and comment. I look forward to talking to you next time on Clarifying. Thank you.